Our bye week is over. The NFL playoff push is just beginning. We've hit the second half of the season. All the momentum is with your Denver Broncos. We are going to discuss who should a Broncos fan be rooting for each given week in the NFL to give us the best shot at the playoffs. We're going to talk about the Broncos' paths to the playoffs with a Bills win, with a Bills loss. What does it all mean? We're going to dive into it now. So let's jump in. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben. I break down all Denver sports. Would love it if you would like and subscribe. So looking yesterday, we had some outcomes that were perplexing, that were good and bad for the Broncos' playoff future. So first outcome that is very interesting to me was this Texans-Bengals game. I think a lot of us looked at CJ Stroud and thought, oh, he might be the future. He's not going to be the present. Well, he came out balling. And the reason this is a good and a bad outcome, the reason it's a good outcome is anytime we can knock down a team in the AFC North, I think the AFC North could be a real problem for potentially fighting one of those teams for a wild card. So I'm happy that the Bengals lost, but I'm a little concerned because we have to play the Texans and they look sizzling hot. So I had kind of hoped they were going to suck and that was a guaranteed win later on in the season. That doesn't look so much to be the case. So basically, if you look at, as a general rule, what we want for the Broncos to have the best shot at the playoffs is we want each division leader to win, and then we want the rest of their division to just get demolished and get creamed. So we want to be rooting for the Dolphins, and then we want the Bills, Jets, Pats all to lose. So yesterday, looking that the Jets lost, that's fantastic for us. Even though it was the Raiders who beat them, that's fantastic for us because we get a chance to play the Raiders at the last game of our season, so we can get back and get a win over them and win that tiebreaker. Looking here, Ravens losing yesterday to the Browns. I think that's bad for us. We also have to play the Browns, so we don't want their momentum climbing either. I had kind of hoped that their season was over. We can always hope Deshaun gets injured or ends up at another massage parlor for us and gets suspended again, but we have to play them. Jaguars got demolished yesterday by the 49ers. That also is bad because we want the division winners to win and the rest of the division to get smoked. One of my favorite tools as I'm looking at the Broncos and the playoff scenarios moving forward is this New York Times playoff machine is what it's called. And what it lets you do is break down your team's percentage chance of making the playoffs with different wins and losses and what that means. So right now, they say we have a 4% chance of making the playoffs. So I hear Jim Carrey in my head saying, you're telling me there's a chance. And I think it's so much better than that because we were 1% chance, when we were 1-5, or I think it was less than 1. And so you just had exponential growth to go from less than 1 to 4. We see that we held Pat Mahomes to 1 of 8 in the red zone, 1 touchdown in 2 games. Jordan Love, he got in the end zone twice on 2 of the luckiest plays I've ever seen. Barrett Browning coming back from injury, and he is the second best rusher for pressures on the quarterback in his 2 games back. He's just healthier every game. We have hit our groove on defense, and Russ has already matched his touchdown total from last year. And so you're telling me it's 4% chance. I think it is so much better than that. So let's look through here and look at our different chances of the playoffs based on different wins. So right off the bat, I think if we win tonight, which we're going to win, I think right away that boosts us up to a 10% chance at making the playoffs, just beating the Bills tonight. I think you then play Josh Dobbs, who's going to be he's had 2 wins in a row, but I think he's gonna come back to earth on that. And we see quarterbacks sometimes when they're put in have a little early success until the rest of the NFL sees what's going on and has a chance to adjust. And I see that with the Broncos. Obviously, they don't have Dalvin Cook anymore. Our defense is lights out, and I like our chances. So I see us beating the Vikings, and right there, you go from a 4% chance to a 15% chance with both of those wins. Now, this game against the Browns, that is going to be a crucial game because it's an AFC game. It's like I said, we need the AFC North to start knocking them down some pegs. And so let's say we beat the Browns, and you see us now we're at a quarter, almost a quarter of a percent chance there to win. Texans game, it looked easy at the start of the season. It looks a lot harder now. Let's say we beat the Texans, a rookie quarterback. You give Vance Joseph time. You give Sean Payton time. I like our chances against a rookie quarterback. We beat the Chargers because the Chargers going to Charger. Now, let's say this game here, the Lions looked scary good yesterday. You saw Dan Campbell just dial up some incredible plays. I really like their offensive coordinator. They're a great mix. That Amon St. Brown is a beast. Gibbs is a beast. And so let's say that we lose that game at the Lions. I want to show us our potential here with some losses. So let's say we lose that game at the Lions. The Patriots looked horrible. There's rumors that Belichick was going to get fired after their loss yesterday to the Colts, which would just be one of the most nuts thing ever. So we're definitely going to beat the Patriots. I think we beat the Chargers again. They don't have a home field advantage, and obviously we're going to beat the Raiders, right? So if we go 6-1 down the stretch, which if I know it sounds like we're just crazy homers here, but look at how good we've played the last couple games. Like, we've won back the momentum. I get we had a rough start to our season, but that's over. We're past that. So if we go 6-1, we have a 99% chance of making the playoffs, which is fantastic. But let's say even tonight, the thing that just sucks about tonight's game against the Bills is that it's a must-win game for them. They had a players-only meeting. They have built their entire team around this, and if they do not win tonight, they're going to blow this up. If they don't make the playoffs after losing a chance at making the Super Bowl with 17 seconds left to Mahomes, like, they're going to blow it up. And so this is a way crucial game for them at home, and I think it's going to be a tough game. But even if we lose tonight, we still have a 90% chance of making the playoffs if we win these other ones. And really, I think if you take a look here, if we are to win all of our AFC games, and then even if we lost to the Vikings or the Lions, we have a very good shot at making the playoffs. Even if we were to say lose this Browns game, we have 2 losses on this schedule and still a shot at making the playoffs. And so I am very, very hopeful. Broncos country, this all starts tonight. This all starts with us getting a win in Buffalo for the first time since Jay Cutler. I want you here for it. What do you think? Weigh in on the comments. Which part of our upcoming schedule scares you the most? Are we making the playoffs? Let's ride.